We need your help to fight a problem facing people all over the world: social isolation. More than half of Australians have experienced or are experiencing loneliness, and that's around 1.25 million West Australians. The people in this room can make a difference. You have the ability to be a part of a social movement, to change the lives of people experiencing social isolation in your communities. This morning, you'll have the opportunity to listen to 5 community leaders who are making positive change in their communities using the vehicles of sport and recreation.
Thanks, Kristee. My name is Ciara Cooney, and this is my colleague Kristee Jolly. And today we are excited to share the room with like-minded people who share our passion for social inclusion. Kristee and I have a combined professional experience of 20 years in the sector, in the industries of local government, state sporting associations, and not-for-profit. We've both participated in sport our whole lives and see the immense value in sport and recreation. We have seen how the power of sport can positively impact individuals' lives, including our own. And we strongly believe that all people should have the choice to participate in mainstream sport and recreation. Our experiences, both professionally and personally, have given us the knowledge and skills to work with many facets of the community.
So a little bit about Inclusion Solutions. Inclusion Solutions has evolved from the work of our sister organisation, Inclusion WA, and their proud 30-year history of working alongside individuals with a disability. Whilst both of our organisations continue to share a vision to promote inclusion across WA, Inclusion Solutions has set a broader challenge of inclusion. People with disabilities will remain as a focus area for our organisation, but when we talk about inclusion, we're talking about all people, and we'd like to see all people have the opportunity to be a part of their communities. We work to facilitate, educate, and work alongside local governments, sporting clubs, community groups, state sporting associations, and businesses to achieve inclusive outcomes. We achieve this by providing personalised training and mentoring services. As an organisation, it is our belief that all people should have the opportunity to live a rewarding life, to participate in a welcoming community. We want everyone to feel welcome, have choice and control, share ordinary places, and feel a sense of belonging within their community.
Thanks, Kristee. I'd like to set the scene today of the forum and talk about some of the theories that underpin our organisation that we greatly believe in. So as you'll see, this gentleman up here, Mr. John O'Brien, he's a world-renowned advocate for people living with a disability, and he believes that these dimensions are critical to ensure that people can have the opportunity to be included in their community. I'll start off at the top, so sharing an ordinary place. Being an active community contributor, not just a community tourist, sharing a place with regular people to do regular things where personal relationships are shared. Choice and control. Who we become depends on big decisions we make, but also the small and seemingly insignificant decisions. Choices are based on life experience and opportunities to experience the dignity of risk. Contributing. The ability and freedom to give ourselves, whether the contributing of money, time, and support of our personal and unique gifts. Being someone. Having qualities that relate to being an individual and having individuality, and of being considered to be someone that matters to others. Last but not least, belonging. This is my favourite one. Feeling accepted and valued by and with people who we choose to be with, and who would also choose to be with us. It's not about learning to cope with being put with others who are seen to be like us. And I'd like to give an example of a gentleman called Eddie. And Eddie is a valued community member at the Bayswater Cricket Club. Eddie shares an ordinary place. He is connected to that community with his knowledge of cricket and his knowledge of sport and scoring, not because he has an intellectual disability. Eddie is a life member of that club. Over 40 years he has been part of that club, and he is a true member of the club and is valued. He has a sense of belonging. He shares the ordinary place. He contributes. I know for sure that he really helped in a semi-final match when he got the score right and someone else didn't have it so right. There was a good question on that. And Eddie was the man who had those skill sets to help with the game. Moving on to the pyramid, I really like this one. So on the bottom, you'll see physical accessibility. And when we talk about inclusion, I like to speak to clubs and groups, state sporting associations, local governments and say, can everyone access your building? Can everyone access your sports centre, your football club, your grounds? So first step is sharing the ordinary place. If you cannot share the space, you cannot be included. So most important. The next one, functional opportunity. Do people have the choice to be able to participate and in a volunteering capacity or in a participating way? Can they be part of the club or group? Usually inclusion stops here. We like to focus on the top tier, social inclusion. Do people have the opportunity to belong? Do people have the opportunity to contribute? And do they really feel valued as an individual in that club? And these are the questions we like to work alongside clubs and groups to really question it. Michael Kendricks has a great quote. My eyesight isn't so great, so I'm going to have to lift this up. Social inclusion is not simply the promotion of the increased presence of marginalised persons in society, but rather that such people return to or begin to occupy valued social roles within society and community life. And today we're here to talk about the importance of having a valued role in our community. And the 5 leaders we'll hear today will talk exactly of that, the importance of having a valued role and how the power of sport and recreation can positively impact an individual's life, but also the wider community. So let's talk about inclusion. This is why we're really here. As you'll see up on the screen, there's 3 slides: exclusion, segregation, and integration. So exclusion, no opportunity to belong. I'd like to share a story about myself. As you can probably tell with my Irish accent, I'm not from here. 6 years ago, I landed in Perth and I want to get connected to a local club. I called a club up and said, can I please get involved in your club? I have no knowledge on this sport, but I want to be around people who are like-minded and the opportunity to connect with other community members. The response I got was, no, we don't want any more foreigners. So I had no opportunity to get connected. I had no opportunity to be included. Why I tell this story is everyone has barriers in their life, but when we talk about people from marginalised backgrounds, people who may be living with a disability, a mental health illness, anyone who is isolated, they are further isolated. People, when we talk about stats and reports, being socially excluded is just as bad as smoking a packet of cigarettes a day. So when we think about that for our health, being socially isolated really isn't a good thing. So exclusion, no opportunity to engage in sport or recreation. There's no opportunity to get connected. Segregation. This is where I'd like to just explain. The big circle is the mainstream community and the small circle is the segregated community. So people who are grouped together based on their limitations and not on their shared interest. That's the smaller circle. So there's absolute merit in segregated sport, but to a limited degree. People can participate, and there's absolute merit to participating in sport, and they will receive health benefits, but they can only socially connect with the people in that group. They cannot connect with the wider community. Integration. We'll hear some stories later on about integrated sports. Integration is a model based on skill, where people start off on one level, and as they increase their skill and ability, there is a pathway for them to move into the mainstream sport or recreation. I believe this is a really great model, and it's one step towards inclusion. An example of this is an integrated football league. So they'll train on the same nights, they'll wear the same uniforms, they'll attend the same social events. They are truly members of that club. They're truly valued, and they have the opportunity to make friendships and a sense of belonging with the wider club. Then on to inclusion. End goal. Amazing. Wouldn't we love if we could all live in an inclusive world? So where people can all truly obtain a value role and be fully included in their community. That might be in a participating way. It may be in a voluntary basis. For example, myself, I'm part of St Finbarr's Gaelic football team, and I've been there for many years now, 6 years, and I'm on the committee, and I'm on the St Patrick's Day Festival, and my valued role is sharing my skills on events and being part of that community. So inclusion is all around people having the opportunity to obtain a valued role and to truly feel like they have a sense of belonging in their community. If we were all the same, it would be a very boring world, I know that for sure. I'm going to pass it over to Kristee.
Thank you, Ciara. So at this morning's forum, you'll have the opportunity to listen to the different perspectives of 5 community leaders who have helped build a socially inclusive community. These speakers have utilised the frameworks that Ciara has just mentioned, and these are the frameworks that underpin our organisation. These people are leading the way and progressing communities to ensure that they are inclusive and welcoming of all people. We're really excited for them to share their stories with you today, and I thank you all for joining us at our first Social Inclusion Forum. Thank you.